that's the title screen over and done with. Anyway, hello and welcome to the very first Bouncy McFrizz-Wellington rant sort thing. Those unlucky few of you who actually know me, we feel your pain, but for you strangers out there, I'm just your average British male teenager. Well, I say that, I really mean that I'm a short male Caucasian British teenager, who's half English, half Scottish, with big wacky hair, a massive ego, and a knack for getting annoyed by stuff, and therefore going on to rant about it, them, and everything. As far as the name is concerned, it's one of the many nicknames I've been given over the years. There are hundreds, seriously. Professor, Wellington, Fuzzball, Sid the Lightbulb, Super Mole Man, Randy Baggins, to name but a few. But one of the old-time classics is the one I have chosen here. Bouncy McFrizz-Wellington. More often than not, Jeeves is inserted after Bouncy to make Bouncy Jeeves from Wellington, but I think it sounds better without it. Plus, if you insert Jeeves, it sounds like I'm some sort of servant, and although I'm quite, well, okay, very short, I don't encourage people to use me. Not unless I get this or something in return. Back to the point. I chose Bouncy McFrizz-Wellington because it's the name that best conjures up an image of me, or at least my hair. A big, bouncy, frizzy thing. And why Wellington? Well, because I was nearly named Wellington. Anyway, as you've probably already guessed, this video is about the so-called Childhood Obesity Crisis. If I judge that this video has not been a complete and utter waste of my very valuable time, I may make some more, either about one topic, like this one is, such as political correctness, or the government, or just a random mix and match of random thoughts and facts and stuff. You never know, if you're lucky I might give up the whole idea completely, and go get myself a social life. You never know. Now, to the subject at hand. Being a British teenager, I felt it was almost my duty that my first rant was to be about one of the most stupid things ever talked about. Childhood obesity. All of us British teenagers are obese, supposedly. The latest figure that I heard, was that 1 in 4 teenagers are obese. 1 in 4? That can't be right. Tell me, are they counting all the pregnant teenagers as well as the fat ones, classing them all as obese? Because if you get rid of all the preggers, I'm sure it's less than that. 1 in 4 teenagers. Like everything else. 1 in 4 women misread a traditional pregnancy test. 1 in 4 students suffer from a mental illness. 1 in 4 species are threatened. As you can see, absolutely everything that is in the ratio statistic is a 1 in 4. Now, surely, that can't be right. Does it not strike anyone else as a little bit invented? Nay, fake. Sorry about that, went off on a slight tangent then. Anywho, if we really are all as obese as the figures suggest, it would start to show. When I walk around school, I don't see many fat people, let alone obese. If 1 in 4 kids were obese, I'd expect everyone to be waddling around like some sort of penguin. Look at them waddle. Now, let's make them put on a few pounds, or a few hundred. Now look at them waddle. Doesn't really bear much resemblance to the people in my school. How about yours? I was planning to put him in a fat suit, or a suit similar to the one that the Michelin tire guy wears, but he thought it was uncomfortable, and didn't think it was his style. Wait, did I just suggest that a cartoon drawing has feelings? Oh well. And yes, I know he's rubbish, and he doesn't waddle right, and the fat penguin has odd arms. I apologise for the first 2, but at least the last one will make sense in time, trust me. And before some smart-ass city kid writes a comment and says, "Oh, well you must live in one of them there thin areas, the countryside, whatever it's called," I should just save you the trouble and say, yes I do. My school's at the bottom of a big hill too, not next door to McDonald's. Imagine that, no McDonald's! But still, for the obesity figures to be correct, based on what I see, in the cities you kids must all be 5 obese kids to every 2 reasonable kids. To be honest, I agree that there is a little bit of obesity amongst us, but it's not as bad as suggested by our government and newspapers. My main problem is not the claims of obesity, it's the other claims. One of these is that we are all greedy. We are not greedy. We're just lazy, with slow metabolisms. And very fast repeating hands, of course. Trust me, it's true. Look at Mr. Penguin, in these, however many seconds it's been since we last saw him, he's gone off and got himself some chips and a milkshake. See? I told you it would become clear. Another claim is that our obesity causes us to be depressed. Mr. Penguin doesn't look depressed, does he? See, he's smiling. What makes us depressed is as follows. A while ago, as I'm sure you all remember with great grimace, that annoying chef, and I use the word chef very lightly, Jamie Oliver, realised that we are all obese. You must be living in the same made-up world as the government and the media. You know, the one where childhood obesity is the only problem in the world. Do you have a picture of this madman? Ah yes, there he is. Oh no, wait. That one, there we go. As you are all far too aware, we've replaced our glorious school canteens with chips and burgers with salad and small fruit drinks. Now, personally, I have no objection to eating healthily, but when a healthy food costs more than twice what the fatty food used to cost, and tastes rubbish, that's what starts to annoy me. For example, if we swap Mr. Penguin's chips and milkshake for salad and fruit, should we see what happens? He's upset now. That's why we're depressed, because we have bad healthy food instead of delicious, grimy, fatty foods. We would be fine if healthy food tasted nice and we could afford it. And yes, I can base my arguments on my own cartoon penguin. It's more truthful than any government figure or newspaper article. Anyway, it's about now I should stop complaining about the exaggeration of the media and the government, and start talking about the fact that we are a little overweight, and suggest some fabulous suggestions to try and fix it. But there's so many things we could do, as long as we don't diet. Diets are pointless, all of them. I mean, look at the Atkins diet. He died a fat man. No, it wasn't a lie. It was an exaggeration. That can't be good. But he wasn't thin, I'll tell you that much. Not fat, but not thin. A bit tubby, perhaps. His BMI would have classified him as obese, though. Then again, my BMI places me slap bang in the middle of the overweight category, so I'd rather not base an argument on it. Anyway, if you want to lose weight, there's only one thing to do. Eat less fatty food, eat more good food, and exercise more. Nothing else to it. Jumping, for example, that's good exercise. Imagine if all the obese people on a little island jumped up and down at the same time. They might lose a little bit of weight. Plus, if they do, our little island might not be so heavy, and therefore rise up and be taller, higher, rise above the other land masses of this world, therefore giving us more power, and we can rule them all, like we used to, the way it should be. And yes, I do link height with power. Probably because I'm so short, and thus tall people scare me, making me think they're more powerful. You see? And who says thus, therefore, and ergo aren't used nowadays? I just used thus. Sounded perfectly normal. Oh well, it's a rant for another time, I suppose. Back to the jumping up and down thing. After all, what's the worst that could happen? Okay, I've just thought of the worst that could happen. If they don't lose any weight, we might sink. Ergo, rendering us the next Atlanta. Wouldn't be too bad, I suppose. Wouldn't be on our own for long. As soon as global warming speeds up, Holland will be joining us. So there we go. We aren't obese, but a few of us are a little bit overweight. And of those who are, actually do care about it, they can exercise more and eat less fatty foods, but not diet. Those who don't care, I give a round of applause, because they don't actually care what people think about them, and as such have the right view on life. Do what you like, and don't care about how people judge you for it. Well, unless you end up in front of an actual judge. Then I don't applaud. But still, being obese isn't any bad thing. Anyway, I guess until next time, if indeed there is a next time, this is goodbye. Feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think. If you do, I might end up making another one. Now, I would end by putting up an image of me, but 1, my webcam takes pictures that rival pictures taken by a blind dog puppet controlled by a mad cat for first place in the worst picture ever competition. B, it would be a pointless exercise anyway, and 3 little eyes. I don't want a stalker. Though if you saw me, you'd probably be running for the hills anyway. But still, I don't want to be recognised in the street as that there mad ranter either. But for now, it's time to say goodbye. Following this rant, I have nothing else to say, so until next time, toodle toot.
John's got brewer's fruit, he gets intimidated by the dirty pigeons. They love a bit of him. Who's that gut lord marching? You should cut down on your pork life, mate, get some exercise.